If we continue on this pace, we're going to go undefeated and win a national championship in year one. And our latest stepping stone on that journey is a little team from Austin. Welcome back to the UTEP Miners Dynasty, where we descend into Texas Memorial Stadium to take on the Longhorns in Week 3. Texas began the year ranked number 1, but after a blowout loss to Ohio State, they're now only number 10. Meanwhile, the Miners are sitting at 2-0 after beating Utah State in Week 1 and an FCS team in Week 2. But of course, we are going to have our hands full today against one of the most stacked rosters in all of college football. But our goal is to be the best team in Texas, and to be the best, you gotta beat the best. Arch Manning is the Texas quarterback. In his first full year as the starter, he looked pretty good in replacement of Quinn Ewers last season. And look at that, 97 throw power. A chip off the old block. 87 speed, though, is not normal for the Manning family. The Ohio State defense did give him a hard time in Week 1, but the Longhorns rebounded with a 37-7 win over San Jose State. We don't just have to worry about the passing game, also their running game is lethal. They have a two-headed monster in Quintravion Wisner and CJ Baxter, and both of those guys can make plays in open space and also run you over. They also picked up a heck of a tight end in the transfer portal with Jack Endries from Cal. On defense, they may have the best pass rusher in the country with Colin Simmons. 95 finesse move, and he's got 90 speed as well, 95 acceleration. Just unfair. And not to mention maybe the best middle linebacker in the game with Anthony Hill Jr., who also has over 90 speed. And the secondary is a different animal than we faced against Utah State. Malik Muhammad leads it, 92 overall cornerback with a platinum ball hawk ability. And also with the platinum ball hawk is the safety Michael Toff, one of the smartest defenders in the whole country. I know I'm being very reactionary with the sliders, but we had a lot of guys go down in the game against FCS Southeast, including a season-ending broken leg to Jaden Wilson. So for the time being, I have bumped the injury slider down from 48 to 45. Of course, we're going to get games where we have a lot of injuries and games where we don't, but I'm still trying to find the sweet spot. And also we had some goofy-looking field goals last game, so the precipitation effect on kicking strength is going to go down. And also I've bumped the CPU run blocking slider down from 55 to 53. Alright, let's see how long we can keep this undefeated season alive. Texas will receive the ball first in a sold-out Texas Memorial Stadium. Here is Arch Manning handing off to Quintravion Wisner. He had a large hold or run through, gain of 7. Second down, another run to the left side. Wisner picks it up on the edge. A similar start to the game as we had against Utah State. Here is Wisner to the sideline, outrunning the defense to the 20. Almost a carbon copy of the first two games so far. We have really struggled containing the outside run as CJ Baxter recovers his own fumble. I don't think it was a fumble at all, as Arch Manning scrambles up the middle to the 4. Longhorns knocking on the door already. There's Wisner breaking the plane. Touchdown Texas, and little resistance from our defense. Who saw that coming? First chance now for Malachi Nelson, who passes it off to the flat on the RPO, and Judah Ezinwa brought down after a gain of 14. Another RPO, this time they cover it up. The wide receiver screen to Jaden Smith goes nowhere. Second down and 12. Nelson to the sideline, overthrowing Cam Thomas. Crowd is letting Nelson hear it. It's his first taste of a big Power 4 football atmosphere, at least playing in one. And Jaden Smith not able to pick up the first down. We punt it away. And sacking Arch Manning on first down is Cole Gustafson. He got into the backfield a few times against Utah State. I've been impressed with his play so far. Now Manning exits the pocket, going deep and broken up. by Xavier Smith, and Texas's drive stalls out. At midfield, Nelson will look to go deep, hit as he throws, and he's intercepted. Michael Toff didn't have to do much to catch that ball. He just kind of stood there and waited for it to come to him. Bad throw from Nelson. It was a panic throw as two guys were running straight at him in the backfield. 3rd down and 6 for the Longhorns, and we force another punt. The backup safety Tyler Jones with the play there. Back to the Miners. Nelson on 3rd down completes it to the tight end, Ezinwa. Led him past the 1st down markers. 2nd and 8, a rollout pass for Nelson, caught by Wandame Davis Jr., who nearly takes it to the 1st down, doesn't get it, but Hassan Wilson picks it up on this carry. On to the 2nd quarter, 3rd and 10 for the Miners, and converted. Pass caught over the middle by Jaden Smith. Now Nelson firing over the middle, it's intercepted again. Anthony Hill with the pick. On an overthrown ball over the middle. That's happened a few times already this season. He's not the most accurate quarterback in the short game, and this time he just kind of sails it past Cam Thomas. And the 95 overall linebacker is not going to let him get away with that. Texas has the ball with a 7-point lead. This is a deep shot for Manning. It's caught! DeAndre Moore Jr. comes down with it, mossing Jalen Shelton. Wow! That wasn't even bad coverage. Just an incredible throw and catch. Breaking a tackle at the line of scrimmage is Quintravion Wisner. 1st down. And now Manning back to pass. He has room to scramble right up the middle. He hits the Lamar Jackson juke into the end zone. And Texas up by 2 scores here in the 2nd. Arch, I know you come from a football family, but I was not familiar with your game. And if you want to stay in this ball game, we got to score now. Malachi Nelson with an interesting decision to pitch that ball to Hassan Wilson. Doesn't quite get the 1st down, but Wilson gets it here on the inside give. Nelson pressured from the right side. He is swallowed up. Hero Canoe runs right past Azizi Henry, and it has been a less than ideal start to the season for our starting right tackle. And on 3rd and 19, this is already getting ugly. Malik Muhammad with the interception this time. Malachi Nelson already getting desperate, trying to make something happen, and it's not working. All 3 star coverage players for the Texas defense now have interceptions already in the 2nd quarter. And now DeAndre Moore with an easy path to a touchdown on the screen pass. 3-score lead for the Texas Longhorns. And this is the Texas team that everybody thought they were going to be. That's Cam Thomas with a reception over the middle for the 1st down as we go under a minute left in the 1st. Thomas on the bubble screen gets out of bounds. Trying to get some points before halftime. Nothing coming easy. Nelson is sacked. A rough half for him. And the pressure isn't stopping. This time it's Colin Simmons off the left edge. 4th and a mile, and we punt it away. Just trying to keep the score where it is, and a pass over the middle to Jack Endries. Running up the seam, and it's going to set up a long field goal for Mason Shipley. Leading us into the halftime break. Things couldn't have gone much worse for us in this 1st half, but I don't think anyone expected anything else. Another quick recruiting update here. Juan Blunt is getting a visit in next week's game against UL Monroe. Clearly, offensive line needs to be a focus for us, so I have both Blunt and Ronald Amerson visiting, along with running back Eric Santucci. Now, tackles, guards, and running backs all give each other complimentary visit boosts. which means if we win this game, we're going to have a chance to get a major boost for all three of these guys. And that game will take place later in this episode. We get the ball first here in the third quarter. Nelson back out there. He throws to the outbreaking route. It's Jaden Smith picking up a first. He has been our featured receiver to start the year, his 5th catch of the day. First down run for Hassan Wilson. And that's some of the most running room he's seen all day. Third down, Nelson sacked. Colin Simmons again, after Azizi Henry unsuccessfully tries to cut block him. I think I've had enough of Henry at this point. Juan Camacho Jr. will replace him from here on out. Here's Texas, and tight end Jack Endries takes a short catch and turns it into a whole lot more with the speed. Texas trying to deliver the knockout blow. Here's a hole shot from Manning. Only a select few quarterbacks are completing that. That was a frozen rope right in front of the safety Solo Barnes. Manning hands off to Quintravion Wisner, and that's a nice job stopping the run by Barnes, setting up a long field goal, 52 yards from Shipley. 27-0. Jaden Smith rolling over to pick up the first down. Now Nelson in the pocket. It closes in on him. The 6th sack for the Longhorns. Nelson now leaving the pocket. He's going to complete this. Excellent throw on the run. Kenny Odom makes the catch. And the score hasn't changed heading into quarter number 4. We got a lot of ground to make up. 3rd and 13. Nice pass into a tight window by Nelson to Cam Thomas. He throws the seam streak, despite 3 Texas defenders in the vicinity. Nelson certainly has an arm. Now he takes this option himself all the way up to the 5. And he's still at negative 27 rushing yards, and that number's going to go down even further. Cole Brevard in the backfield. Screen pass caught by Marquez Taylor, and the Texas defense rallies to the ball. 3rd and goal. From the 9, Nelson unleashes, and it's to the defense. Malik Muhammad with his 2nd interception, stiff-arming Nelson. And now no one will catch him. 100-yard pick 6. Yeah, it's about time to pack it up. That was just demoralizing. There was nothing there if you're Malachi. I think he just misdiagnosed the coverage. He thought he was in man, and it turned out to be zone. Muhammad baits him into this pick and then just emasculates him with the stiff arm. This play couldn't get much worse for Malachi. Gotta feel bad for the kid. That's gonna be all over social media. And look at what happens after the play. He gets booty bumped by his own offensive lineman. Just humiliating. And that's going to be it for Nelson's day. Skylar Locklear is in the game, hitting the angle route for the first down. It's Marquez Taylor. Nelson played very well in the first 2 games of the year. He wasn't perfect, but it certainly looked like he was the unquestioned starting quarterback. Now Skylar Locklear has a chance now to put some pressure on Nelson. If he's able to get some points on the board against the Texas defense, I don't think that's happening, at least not on this drive. Michael Toff lurking in the middle of the field for another pick 6. I don't think this is a quarterback problem. I think Texas is just too overwhelming. The pressure is just instantaneous, and it's making our quarterbacks trigger happy. First down pickup for Cam Thomas. And now he's going to bounce this nearly to the first down markers. Cam Thomas with 10 catches today. 4 minutes to go in this disaster of a game. First down for Kenny Odom. Locklear in the pocket, not for long. Colin Simmons with his 3rd sack. 4th down from the 45. Locklear is intercepted by Toff again. What a game for him. His 3rd of the day. And that will be the end of that. UTEP not able to put a single point on the board against Texas. And we throw 6 interceptions. No shame in getting beat by Texas, of course, but just the way we were beat was very disappointing. At least we got a bag for it. I think I blame the offensive line for our struggles more than our quarterbacks, although the quarterbacks certainly didn't help. And it's not like we could have just ran the ball and played a conservative game protecting the ball. That's not our strength. We're not the type of group of 5 team that can pull off a major upset quite yet. And we only got 59 XP from this game. 59. As we take our first loss of the year, and we only have 1 non-conference game remaining. Javier Vincent now has reached his top 3 schools. We are the favorites to land him as well as kicker Lee Alfaro. As we come back to El Paso with a matchup against UL Monroe, the Warhawks come to town. As I said in the opening episode, I'm not going to go too crazy with the highlights and discussing what's going on in college football, but I am still going to show some final scores that I feel are notable. Notre Dame able to edge Texas A&M early in the season, 34-31, thanks to a nice game from Jeremiah Love. They're now ranked number 4 in the country. Marcel Reed, not the finest game. And everyone's favorite SEC underdog, Vanderbilt, is continuing to work magic this season. Upset win over South Carolina. And they still have Diego Pavia, who's now 88 overall, and still one of the most fun players in all of college football. They've also got a good running back in Cedric Alexander. And considering I did Georgia Tech last year, I couldn't help but show this. An absolute classic in Atlanta. Georgia Tech narrowly falls short in overtime to Clemson, 57-55. And Cade Klubnik with 7 touchdowns gets the job done. This is nearly identical to that classic game against Georgia last year for the Yellow Jackets. Haynes King, Jamal Haynes did all they could. Haynes scored 5 touchdowns on the ground. And speaking of Georgia, they suffer a bad loss to Tennessee, 51-30. And no Nico, no problem, as Joey Aguilar goes for 353 and 3 scores, while Gunnar Stockton throws 4 picks. This might finally be Florida's year. They put a beatdown on LSU in Death Valley, as DJ Lagway has his sights set on a Heisman Trophy this year. And back to the recruiting trail for Week 4. Quarterback Nico Amano, a JUCO junior 2-star, will be added to the board. He's got 83 throw power, 76 speed, and his accuracy, not great, but it's better than Tony Macchiella, the 1-star I'm also recruiting. I've also added Sean Whiteheart, who has 87 acceleration at corner. And our latest Eduardo Polanco update here continues to be nothing but good news. Probably 1 week away from a commitment from him. And we made a lot of progress on Clay Armour this past week. He looks to be close to entering the top 5. And we continue to have no competition for athlete linebacker Kevin Cordero. We're losing a little bit of traction with Juan Blunt. Thankfully, we do have a visit coming up, as San Diego State threatens to steal him. And I think we really need to win next game if we want to guarantee ourselves Eric Santucci and Juan Blunt. As for Santucci, New Mexico is creeping up on us. Even Ronald Amerson isn't going to be a total gimme, as UTSA and Texas State have also offered scholarships. Alex Moffitt, a right tackle, has already locked us out due to playing style deal breaker. We do still have a chance to get him to let us back in, but that is bad news considering we just made a lot of progress on him. I have now offered a scholarship to 1-star guard Ron Fehoko, as well as Titus Toljan, as an insurance policy for some of those 2-stars. And lastly, 1-star corner Darren Kesey gets a scholarship. And I don't want to be losing a lot of these recruiting battles, so I am primarily targeting players with initial interest and players in our pipelines. And so far, that's meant a lot of players from Texas and Arizona. Let's quickly review the UL Monroe Warhawks. No more General Booty on this team, unfortunately, as Aiden Armenta is now the leader of this offense. Not a big accuracy guy, really struggles in the medium game, and he's got 78 speed. The best playmaker on this team is probably Braylon McReynolds, the running back. They're only 80-plus overall skill player, and he is certainly more athletic than the average Sunbelt running back. The receiving core is led by Jake Godfrey, a 79 overall, with 90 speed, 85 catching, and some solid route running. Their highest rated player is 84 overall pass-protecting guard Elijah Fisher. They have a solid pass rush in Billy Pullen, who has pocket disruptor in gold, and Cavante Wells, who is also a power rusher. They also have some DBs to match up with our wide receivers. David Godsey is their number one cornerback, really good in man and zone coverage, as well as Carl Fontroy at free safety. Not bad, but of course still a far cry from the secondary we just played. And let's get into game number 2 of the day. It's raining again in El Paso. Why does this keep happening? So more accuracy penalties for our quarterbacks. Malachi Nelson certainly doesn't need that, especially after yesterday. And our opening drive is going to stall out. Tristan Shorter into the backfield for the sack of Nelson. And the Warhawks already have it in our territory as KD Johnson pushes them out of it. 3rd and 14. Aiden Armenta, empty backfield. We penetrate the pocket and get there again. Stratton Schufelt makes the play this time. And the first 2 drives are punts. Hassan Wilson with some powerful running. Gain of 5, setting up a 3rd and 1. Now a pistol handoff to Wilson. He picks up the first. Not great yards per carry for Wilson, but he's getting the job done. Speed option now. Wilson now tight roping the sideline. He gets past everyone. Touchdown, Hassan Wilson. And so far this season, the speed option has been our most effective running play. Drawing the defense in with Nelson, creating a lane for Wilson, and how about Kenny Odom with a crucial block? We take the opening lead. 3rd and 14 now, and we force another punt. Good coverage from Solo Barnes. The Warhawks also run a 3-3-5, and we run it up the gut, picking up 8. 3rd and inches now. It is Marquez Taylor navigating through some blocks. A holding penalty makes it 1st and 20. And Nelson is going to throw a bad pass here. Intercepted. When we get behind the sticks, Nelson really starts to break down in processing the field. This was not the right throw to make. Leonard Harris reading his eyes, making the pick. 3rd and 9. Aiden Armenta throws the timing route, and he's got Jake Godfrey. 1 quarter down, we keep our lead. Armenta to the flat. The tight end catches this, but he's not able to pick up the first. Offense stays out there, and a pistol set for 4th and inches. We rally to the football. Kofi Taylor Barracks, the first man to get there. Gives the ball back to Malachi. And he hits Kenny Odom running across the field on a crosser. 23-yard pickup. At the 30-yard line, Nelson. Play action. Now throws the fade. It's caught. Cam Thomas comes down with it in the corner of the end zone. 2-score lead now for the Miners. And throws like that are why Nelson was a 5-star recruit. Couldn't have placed that any better, as he tries to just delete those recent interception struggles from his memory. As long as he keeps making throws like that, he'll be fine. 14-0. Aiden Armenta into a blitz on 3rd down. He can't get away from it. Elijah Baldwin with the play. Nelson completes to Cam Thomas. Stopped just short here. And we're not ready to give up on this drive. Marquez Taylor is swarmed behind the sticks. And again, this is something that we really should be picking up, but our blockers are just not getting any amount of push. Warhawks have it near midfield. Corner route is caught. Nick Trujillo will score easily. And I hoped it was a holding penalty, but it's going to be roughing the passer instead, which is declined. UL Monroe is on the board. Now the offense tries to respond. A screen pass caught by Marquez Taylor, and he runs with it for a first down. Drag route, this is Kenny Odom. The mesh concept has been a staple of this offense, and it gets Odom open there. Nice blocking and nice running from Hassan Wilson, who's had his best running effort maybe of the season so far. This pass is too high. Jaden Smith hit midair and he drops it in the rain. But we're going to go for this on fourth down. To the sideline, the pass is deflected and caught. Should have been intercepted, but instead it's caught by Cam Thomas. An accidental hook and ladder play, except it was initiated by the defense. And Nelson really got away with one there. Maybe there was a space to throw the out route there, but he saw that way too late. And now Thomas again with a contested grab. First and goal, Taylor not able to get in. Stopped at the 1-inch line. And a handoff to Taylor again. This time he gets in. As the Miners get back out to a 2-score lead. 2-minute drill now for Armenta. He drops back. A clean pocket for him. He throws down the field. And a massive hit from Xavier Smith, upending the receiver to force the incompletion. This was a great throw, nearly a great catch, and Smith blows it up. 3rd and 7, Armenta looking deep again. Caught on the sideline this time. Rylan Green, the tight end, manages to get both feet in bounds. That would have been a catch on Sundays. Warhawks looking for late points. And nearly intercepted. Solo Barnes dropped it. And ULM gets another chance. Flag on the field. This is going to be a hold, pushing them back out of UTEP territory. 3rd and 25. And this is caught. Jake Godfrey with an 11-yard grab. Not enough for the first down. They punt it away. Now wide open down the field is Josh Schuchts, but Nelson couldn't put it on him. That would have gotten us a field goal, but we're going to have to settle for a 21-7 halftime lead. 3rd quarter now. High arcing pass batted down by Jalen Shelton. 3rd down and 8 for ULM. This is another pass that should have been intercepted. But Solo Barnes with a great breakup. Now Nelson on the keeper. Takes it to the 33 of ULM. Handoff now to Marquez Taylor, as Cam Thomas is going to have to leave the game for the time being. 3rd and 4. Pressure from the Warhawks, and a big hit in the middle of the field. Brings up 4th down as Cam Thomas has bruised ribs. And I guess I didn't nerf the slider enough. That is terrible from Joe Bowman. The kicking power in the rain really needs to change. Here is Braylon McReynolds, the star running back, just refusing to go down right there. Needed 3 guys to finally be tackled. Here's McReynolds behind some blockers and past everybody. First down run. Hasn't been featured that much in the offense, but now he's getting some work. Big run for McReynolds. And not many Miners anywhere near him on the play. 2nd down and 11. Armenta has to eat this sack, our 5th of the day. Katie Johnson this time. 3rd and long for Armenta to the end zone. Nearly picked off by Barnes again. He's missed so many chances today. He did have 1 interception against FCS Southeast, but he should have way more, as the Warhawks get a field goal to make it 11. Hassan Wilson with a carry to make it 3rd and 1. And they give it right back to him. He picks it up as Cam Thomas has re-entered and now is going to have to leave again. Now a severe risk of a long-term injury. I think his day is done, especially with us up 11. To the edge is Jalen Smith. He's going to take over the slot role. Now Cam Thomas has hip bursitis. He is questionable to return. They stuff this run from Wilson and force a punt. Spin move now from McReynolds, hitting it again. He's still going, man. Why'd they barely give him the ball in the first half if he's this good? Rylan Green on the bubble screen, picking up the 1st and more. Now at our 34. Short route caught by Nick Trujillo. He has been a favorite target of Armenta, his 7th catch. And Trujillo gets it again. The slant picks up the 1st down. And honestly, that should have been another interception for Solo Barnes. He ran right past that ball. McReynolds! No one's going to stop him from scoring this touchdown. Our linebackers and edge players continue to be bullied to the outside. And the Warhawks can tie this with a 2-point conversion. Armenta will do it himself. 3-point ball game all of a sudden. Malachi on the play action. Not much time to get a pass away. He is sacked. Heading into the 4th quarter, a 3rd and 13. And more pressure from the Warhawks defense. Tristan Shorter with his 2nd sack of the day, and he overpowers Luka Matamoros. Now the Warhawks hit us with the RPO shovel pass. Rylan Green continuing to get easy pickups. Now a shotgun snap for Armenta. He's brought down by Katie Johnson for his 3rd sack of the day. Why can't we get any pass rush from the edge? Our interior guys are having to carry this pass rush this year. 3rd and 7 for Armenta. Drifting to the right and the pass is deflected. Off the body of Echo Taylor. 4th and 7. Field goals are usually an adventure, but that one looked pretty good. Tie game with 10 minutes to go. Another speed option, and Wilson breaks out the spin move. 7-yard gain. Hand off to Wilson. He is swallowed this time by Jaden Hamlin. 3rd and 7. Over the middle, this pass is caught. Gutsy play by Wilson. 1st down, Nelson under pressure. He's intercepted. It's Carl Fontroy this time. And the underneath inaccuracy issues continue to arise for Malachi Nelson. And this is a frustrating play for many reasons. It wasn't the best throw, of course. He was hit as he threw. But what really is annoying is that Jaden Smith was bumped on the play, and that slowed him down and made him unable to get to the ball. That might have been a completion if that didn't happen, and if the ref saw it, it would have been offensive pass interference. But no call, and it happens at a crucial time in a tie game in the 4th quarter. 3rd down and 9 for the Warhawks. Armenta all day in the pocket. Down the middle. Deep pass is caught. Jake Godfrey burns our secondary. And the Warhawks take the lead. Feels like we were just up 21-7. But what a throw from Aiden Armenta. Splitting the safeties downfield. And how about this route as well from Jake Godfrey? And we just don't have a corner on this roster who's athletic enough to hang with him. 7-point deficit now, and Nelson's going to take a sack here on first down. 3rd and 19. This is not looking good, and Jaylen Brown is not able to come down with this ball. Times like this, you really wish Cam Thomas was still in the game. Aiden Armenta on the keeper, not getting much on 3rd down, and we managed to get ourselves the ball back. 3:30 to go to score a touchdown to tie it, as Nelson fires up the middle for Kenny Odom. Now it's Hassan Wilson with some physical running. 2:40 on the clock. Wilson hits the hole, but runs into a wall right at the sticks. 3rd and inches. Quarterback draw for Malachi. He's got a ton of space. Into Warhawk territory. Tackled near the 30. The draw plays are really important to run in an air raid, especially when your offensive line can't create advantages by themselves. 3rd and 6. And the pass caught by Josh Schutz. On the RPO flat read, he picks up the first. And we're knocking on the door with a minute remaining. Wilson with the catch, and he stopped short. We do get the first down, and we're going to run this clock down all the way to 23 seconds. UL Monroe not using any timeouts, and Wilson is stuffed on first down. 2nd and goal, now we take a timeout. We run the same play, and Wilson is stopped behind the line. Now what do? At the 2-yard line, and Wilson is in pain. He's still out there. He's going to line up out wide. Empty set for Nelson over the middle. Caught by Jaden Smith. 11 seconds remaining, and an extra point can tie it up. And Nelson has led us all the way down the field in a crucial drive. Running up the middle wasn't working, so we spread it out on the goal line, and it works to perfection. And now Joe Bowman will come out for the extra point. Nothing's easy in the rain. And this barely sneaks over the crossbar. Joe, you nearly gave me a heart attack. We are tied. And the Warhawks will just run this ball and run the clock out. We are headed to overtime for the first time in the Dynasty, everybody. We really should have found a way to put the Warhawks away earlier in this game. We were up 21-7, but UL Monroe has stormed back into this game, and now they win the coin toss. It is more advantageous to play offense second in college overtimes, and that's what they'll do. And this is the spot I feel we need Cam Thomas back in the game. His wear and tear effects are lesser now. The first down pass is dropped. Jaden Smith had to jump for that. Not a great pass. And pressure on 2nd down, incomplete. And a 3rd and 10. Nelson stands in the pocket, and we allow a free rusher. They weren't even blitzing, but we just don't pick up the linebacker. 3 straight incompletions. And now Bowman from 42. This is gonna have the power. He barely made that extra point just minutes ago, but he puts us up 3, and now we have to get a stop. Keeper for Armenta. He's got space inside the 5, and he's dragged down. He nearly scored on that one play. 1st and goal, pistol, handoff. McReynolds is wrapped up. And we need a big goal line stand here. McReynolds off tackle and into the end zone. Warhawks win in overtime. And UTEP collapses here in week 4. We follow up 2 impressive wins with 2 bad losses. Just an incredible job by the Warhawks, never giving up on this ball game and taking advantage of every second half mistake we made. We give up 21 points in the third and fourth quarters after giving up only 1 touchdown in the first half. And Malachi Nelson again throws 2 crucial interceptions that played a big part in why we lost. He had a very clean first 2 weeks, only throwing 1 interception, and that was on a deep shot. It was kind of an arm punt. But against Texas and against UL Monroe, he has been really careless with the football. Hassan Wilson did have his best performance of the season to this point, but it is wasted. And it does say he got hurt. I'm not sure when, probably at the very end of the game, maybe even in overtime, but it was not a long-term injury, thankfully. But after a very successful first 2 weeks, we come crashing down to earth today, and this is how non-conference play ends for the UTEP Miners in year 1 of the Dynasty. A lot of good and a lot of bad. This is a team that is very similar to us in terms of talent level, but this defense is just not able to get stops in meaningful moments. The offense scored 31 points. That's not even bad. We really should be able to win when we score that many. But that interception just came at a really bad time from Nelson in the second half, and it really killed our momentum. The tape from Nelson in these first 4 games has been quite a mixed bag, to say the least. And after this game, I immediately went to the precipitation kicking strength scale and bumped it down quite a bit more, all the way down to 30. We had 3 players visiting in that game. A win would have been huge for us, but we are not able to get it. We do get Eduardo Polanco, though. Our first 3-star commitment. And a player I'm extremely excited about. Really good route running. He looks like a gem. And we also get 1-star guard Javier Vincent. And that now makes 3 commitments so far. A 3-star, a 2-star, and a 1-star. We're still waiting on another 3-star, Clay Armour, a free safety ranked number 556 in the nation. And he is now in his top 5 stage. So already in just 2 episodes, we are past non-conference play, and we now move into the final year of UTEP in Conference USA. Elsewhere in the country, in Week 4, Michigan and Nebraska play a classic between 2 up-and-coming superstar quarterbacks. Bryce Underwood narrowly edges Dylan Raiola in what must have been a ton of overtimes. And Florida remains undefeated with a win over Miami here. And here is the top 25 after 4 weeks. Ohio State, Penn State, and Clemson are the top 3. And I'm not seeing a single group of 5 team on this list. But that is going to do it for today's episode. We go 0-2 after going 2-0 to start the season. And we will try to bounce back as we open conference play at home against the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs, who are 1-3 on the season, but have won a conference game already. This Miners roster has some glaring weaknesses, especially on the defensive end and in the offensive line, and it really showed itself in these 2 games. The undefeated season is no longer alive, and it's back to reality for Aaron Jones and this team. Hopefully the beginning of conference play can serve as a fresh start for us. Thank you all for watching once again. If you like what you see, I would really appreciate a subscription if you haven't done so already. Please leave a comment if you have any feedback. Don't forget to turn post notifications on if you want to stay up to date. And I would love if you recommended me to a friend. But we are hitting the ground running with this UTEP Dynasty, and I plan on keeping up a good pace with these episodes, at least during the early launch window of College Football 26. Have a good rest of your day, everyone, and I will see you in the next video when we take on Louisiana Tech.